If you've been watching this channel for a little while, I have a problem with mice. I tend to collect like a lot of them. Well, here's like my Model O, which is now like my backup because I've got another mouse. But it's very rare that I get a new favorite, and well, this is a rare occasion. Good afternoon and welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. If you're new here, I am Reese of the 4-piece variety or WookiE XXXL. In front of me is a wireless, even though it's connected with a cable, it's just for charging mouse, and a wired version of the Roccat Kone. These two are kind of sick and marginally disgusting in their execution and stuff. There's actually aluminium inside of both of these mice, and yet they're still some of the lightest I've ever used. And you'll notice there's no holes in them because they put a thin sheet of plastic over the top, but it is still a hex grid setup to get to that lightness. So before we get too carried away, let's start from the top. So on my left, as I said, is the Pro Air. And the Pro Air, you can disconnect the ProFlex USB Type-C charging cable, which is quite nice. The only thing that's really missing from this package is a connecting block, which is the elephant in the room here. The sensor or the USB connector sits in the bottom of the mouse, just like that. Then you'll notice above that there is a power switch, so you can turn the sucker off, put it in Bluetooth mode, so you can use it with laptops and stuff on the go, or in the wireless mode, which will then use the dongle. Above that is your profiling button, and that changes your DPI. The feet on the bottom are PTFE heat treated. It's exactly the same for the wide mouse as well, so they've been pre-prepared for you so that they will glide extra smooth. The body and the chassis are very familiar shape, taking cues from the yesteryear with big time ergo impact, and it feels absolutely phenomenal in the hand. After about 2 minutes, you actually barely notice you're even holding the mouse, or at least I did. The scroll wheel, like I said, is the one piece of aluminium. This is cut from a single piece of aluminium and has a really nice tactile click to it. Speaking of clicks, they've deployed their Titan Pro switch again, which feels very different and is exceptionally loud, just as an example, all right, compared to some Omrons. It's a weird, like, hollow sound that it produces, but the bounce back and the speed and everything are pretty much the same. Next to that are obviously the two thumb buttons, which deploy more standard sort of switch setups, but the positioning of the thumb buttons, just look at that. It's as close to perfect as damn it is to swearing. Overall, the product setup for these two, their base setup and their chassis and everything are absolutely phenomenal. I was an MX518 boy for the better part of like 10 years nearly. I still have an old G400 that lurks somewhere, probably in a cupboard that my mate made from like 3 different mice. So the ergo in this was super, super comfortable. I felt massively at home. So the shape is absolutely fantastic, and the weight, well, it's almost non-existent. Somehow this big ergo mouse weighs 75 grams wireless without, the cable attached and all the rest of it. And this without the cable sits at 66 grams for the wide version. It's the lightest mouse of this size I've ever used. And speaking of use case scenario, I obviously had to have a couple of games on this, so I updated Call of Duty as well, because I do like to test that for mice, because people tend to like slide past you, right? So then you need to track that turn. Apex is another good one for that. So with these two, I was able then to track like super, super seamlessly. I never felt it feel like it would skip a beat, and part of that as well is the surface calibration tool, so you can tune for your surface and your liftoff distance as you need to, which is phenomenal. Now, when I was a much, much younger man, the Roccat Kone was a very, very prevalent mouse, albeit plagued with reliability issues and some other not great designs. But this comeback feels insane, and Roccat just continues to knock it out of the park with their products. Honestly, I'm so glad they're back and they're producing stuff like this, because this mouse is 130 USD. And the guy over to my right, I think will be about 100 USD as well, or about 80 or 90. We'll have to see what pricing and stuff comes through to South Africa, because these aren't available here just yet. But the fact that they're even coming here is fantastic. just as an example of like how good the kit is and stuff you get with it, they do include a full set of covered feet for you to be able to replace those on your mouse as well. Roccat's clearly done their homework and they've created my new favorite. This is the best mouse you can buy for whatever purpose you want. This is pretty much what I'm going to suggest. Those threads on Twitter where you guys are asking about mouse, this is the one right here. There's just nothing like it. The sensor that they've deployed, like I said, is a brand new PixArt one. It's got 5% less error rate than the 3389, which we've all been knowingly using and loving in different variants. They've then taken that and then turned it up a notch. After I did the surface calibration, I kid you not, there is no such thing as a missed tracking opportunity for this mouse. It was beyond perfect. I absolutely slayed. I even purposefully used a gun that I'm rubbish with and that I know is bad, and I still destroy it. This thing is sick. It's absolutely disgusting how good this mouse is. Oh, did I mention that the wireless has 100 hours battery life? 100 hours. I literally used it the entire day and it dropped like 20%. That's disgusting. If you turn the lights off and stuff, I would assume it would last even longer. I think that quoted time is without the lights and everything turned on. Lighting is also quite nice. Roccat AMO stuff, it does like auto lighting depending on your environment and stuff. Something that is a bit weird, I think, for a lot of us will be the fact that the lighting's at the front of the mouse and not highlighting the logo on the back of the mouse. But I hardly think that that's a deal breaker considering everything that these two masks can do. The software is ultra comprehensive. You're talking like per DPI, you can easy shift any of the keys as well, which is really nice to have. So if you were, for instance, to hold in shift and hit your right mouse button, it would do something completely different to what it was before. And you can do that for every single button on the mouse. Like I said, you've got that lift off distance calibration tool. It's comprehensive. It's more than comprehensive. Anything you would want there is fantastic. And they only use ProFlex cables, so you don't need to have a mouse bungee for the horrible rubber thing that would normally be flitting across your desk. All in all then, these are the proposed price with this spec. Yeah, I'm gonna need one. I'm probably going to get the wireless, maybe the wired. I'll have to see what pricing is when it comes into South Africa. Just having the ProFlex and that 60 whole 6 grams worth of weight, it's kind of mad, but the shape is just, that's the ticker for me. And because of how they've set up the buttons, you can claw right onto the back of the mouse if you want to and still click there. So it can do hybrid, it can do full palm. I'm a palm kind of guy. I like to have my hand as flat as humanly possible when I'm sweeping and lifting and stuff. And as you can see, it fits absolutely perfectly. I do have quite a long palm. For reference, from base to tip is 19 centimeters, so I've got nearly 2/3 of a ruler worth of slap. Anywho, that is all I have for you in this review. If you have enjoyed it, please hit us up with a like and subscribe, and I will see you on the flip side.